Greetings, Barbara E. Ringrose. I'm the founder of Wow Women Optimizing Women, and I'm also the co-creator here at Optimize Her Too on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us. It's going to be an amazing, amazing evening here together. We have some important guests with us, and we also have LaQuincia Nichols. LaQuincia is also, we call her Quincy or Q. She is from Surprise, Arizona. She is the founder of her own business, experience-coaching.com, which you can go to her website and visit. And the important thing is here, as you come on here, we get more and more excited with all of our different audiences. And I think it's important also just to remind you when you go to YouTube and you view our Optimize Her Too, that you click like, follow, and share with the rest of the world, because we want to educate, elevate, and inform you. And tonight we're going to do just that. We're going to be talking about crystals, chakras, and Reiki with Julie Mulhern. Julie Mulhern is the owner of Love Yourself First shop here in Manchester, Maryland. And Sandy Soyke, she is an author and also has her own website, which is sandybottom.com. So I'm going to turn this over to Quincy, as she is my co-creator, as I said, and she is so superb. She's going to talk to us about what she does there in Arizona and what's happening there as we lead into talking with Julie and Sandy.
Excellent. Thank you, Barb. I'm so excited for today's episode because a part of my passion and what I do in my business is really making sure that women in business, whether you're an entrepreneur, a corporate leader, or a family leader, understand the power that your voice has and that you stop abandoning yourself during conversations. And what I'm excited about with Sandy and Julie today is that they are also focused on making sure that you are bringing your best self to everywhere that you go through different modalities. So I would love to tell you about Sandy, who is a published author and crystal expert who has spent decades studying and working with crystals. And then we also have Julie, who helps women reconnect to their authentic selves through Reiki and energy healing. This conversation is about more than crystals or Reiki. It's really about coming back home to yourself. So Julie and Sandy, welcome to the show. We are very happy to have you here. And I would say, let's just start at the beginning, because for many women, crystals are fascinating, but also mysterious.
It's very true. That's very true. They are very fascinating, and they've been around for centuries. I mean, from Egypt to the Vikings, and to us, they've been around for centuries. I started collecting crystals, I guess, back when I was a little child, but I didn't know they were crystals. I just thought they were stones. Until I started working at Howard County General Hospital in 1987. And my two bosses, who are my mentors, got me into crystals. They took me to crystal shows. They took me to all these crystal ventures, and I learned about crystals. I became so interested in crystals that everything crystal I wanted to be at, no matter where it was. So, and crystals have I learned that they have a lot of healing powers. They help you when you're sick. They help you feel better just in general. They all have different meanings. They all have different powers. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's not. And and when I do write my books, I do tell people to go to the doctor. Don't use the crystals as a cure-all, because it's not. But crystals can help you. Take, for instance, my favorite crystal is the clear quartz. And the clear quartz is called the master healer because it amplifies the power of all the other crystals that you might have or that you want to have. It also is self-healing, charging. So it does help with other crystals to do that also. And what it does is when you have the quartz and let's say you're holding an amethyst, it amplifies the power of the amethyst. But so they both work together to make whatever you're trying to do become more powerful for you. Right, Julie?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I really got into the crystals when I was going through some life changes myself. And I was working with professionals, but I also wanted to work with the things that Mother Nature provides, and knowing myself on a very, very deep level, and how I can also assist in the process of healing and just kind of continuing my journey and moving forward and those sorts of things. So that really kind of began my love of the crystals and just everything, really in that metaphysical world. And I know Sandy was mentioning the clear quartz. I'm sitting here holding my smoky quartz because it's a nice grounding stone. Crystals vibrate just like we vibrate. Energy, all energy beings. So just as simple as like holding this and drawing any of my anxious person by nature right here. Public speaking, not my thing. This helps me to stay very grounded because it's working with, my body's vibrations as well, just to kind of keep me in that presence. So what they have to offer is it truly is amazing.
It sounds unlimited. And I think it's probably working, Julie, because I would have never guessed that public speaking is not your thing. So your smoky quartz is working.
As I'm looking around here in my office, and some of you can see, one of my, and I call them rocks. You call them stones, Sandy. Interestingly enough, I call them rocks. And I have a azurite malachite that sits here, and it's just beautiful in its colors. It's also very heavy, and
Gorgeous.
I have amethyst around and the different quartz as well, because I think in my office it gives off that. You talked about energy and
Mhm.
vibrations. Uh, yeah, I think that's something that women want to connect with other women, and this is one way that women can connect through the power of crystals and Reiki and the energy alignment that goes with it. Um, I'm thinking also with today's segment's going to be a little bit different. We talked a minute. I think Quincy, you mentioned something. It's kind of like a leap when you
Mhm.
start having these conversations with other people.
It is. And it's for some people it can be a disruption, right, to the things that they may have been told and or found familiar. But I think as we start to go through, to your point, Julie, right, different life challenges, you start to look for other ways to also supplement, right, and really think about what are you doing to be holistic in your approach to your overall wellness, right? The doctors can do so much, but I also think there are times where, the things on the earth have been here before all of us, and there's
Absolutely.
power in that,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people have really been, conditioned to think the only cure or the only way to heal things is, taking medications or doing this or that. And there's nothing wrong with those things. I want to stress there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with those things. But like I was saying before, you also need to advocate for yourself. You can
Yeah.
also use the things that, the earth provides to aid in your own healing. A doctor doesn't know literally how you feel inside. You know how you
Right.
feel inside. You know when something feels like it's working and something feels like it doesn't. And if
So
you're told
someone brand
nothing is
new
wrong,
then,
say that
yeah,
again.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So someone brand new then, Sandy. So somebody doing this, like I mentioned to Quincy, it's a little bit of a leap, and Julie just mentioned, you have to look at, our doctors and so forth, and our mores in our community teach us differently.
Mhm.
So for somebody brand new, then Sandy, the crystals, what exactly are crystals doing?
All crystals have a vibration. I think, like Julie had mentioned, they all have a vibration. The vibration is what helps you feel better. And perfect example, when I have a headache, I use my clear quartz. I put it on my head, and the vibration from the clear quartz, and the fact that it's very, very cold, and that's how you can tell whether crystals are real or not, because when you pick them up, they're usually cold. But
Mm.
anyway, the coldness and the vibration is what help my head feel better. I keep one in my car. I have them all around here, as you can see the back here. This is a citrine, but this is clear quartz, and this is clear quartz. But they're all over this house, and they help. You just pick it up and you just lay down and put it on your head. Or if it's like your tooth, you can put it on your mouth, your elbow, any place that you want. Just put it where you have the pain, and the vibration will help you. We're all energy. I mean, we're all made of energy, and the crystals are too. And they've been buried underneath the earth until someone uproots them. And that's what's so special about them, is because they've been underneath the earth, and that's what's been making our earth the way it is. So why can't it help us too? Like I said, Vikings, the Egyptians, the Indians, they all use crystals. They've been around since the beginning of the time, and they'll probably be around after we're gone. So you just have to pick the right one because they all have different meanings. The clear quartz is, like I said, the master healer. I use rose quartz. That's the love
Oh.
crystal. I use amethyst for calming, and the smoky quartz I keep in my car for road rage. Because it is very grounding. So if you're prone to having road, now I haven't been driving for a long time because of my back surgeries, but if you're prone to road rage when you drive, definitely keep a smoky quartz in your car for the grounding. But they all have different reasons. They all have different purposes, and you just need to learn all about them. And that's why I wrote my first book, and it helps people, and it's written in a way where people can understand it, not written textbook wise, whereas
Mm.
what are you talking about? But it's written easy so people can understand it. And that's what you need to do. You just need to learn about them, and you'd be surprised how much they can help you.
That's good information, Sandy. I think, to the point of educating our audience, right? I think sometimes you see a crystal that can cost hundreds, thousands of dollars, and then I see something in a gas station. How do I know? Like, is it because I've got the quartz, regardless of the price point? If I believe, then the thing is true? Or is there some sort of discernment I should have when purchasing crystals?
Do you want to take that, Julie, or you want me to?
Oh, sure, sure, sure.
Okay.
So Quincy, I really like what you said about,
Mhm.
when you're feeling these and knowing is part of it, just what you're feeling. And yes, it is. Intention goes so much into
Mhm,
crystals too. So it's not just the healing properties. It's not just, the rate at which the crystal is vibrating is assisting our biological body as it's also vibrating, but it is also how you feel when you pick it up. I have people
mhm,
come in my shop all the time, and they say, I keep going back to this one. I keep being drawn to this crystal. And I'll say, read what it says that crystal's all about. They read
mhm,
it, and I can tell you 9 times out of 10, what they're reading resonates with them. Like your body is also drawn to what it is it needs. And that's just like in the physical world too. Your body knows when you're thirsty. Your body knows when it needs hydration and things like that.
mhm.
Your body also knows what it needs when it's around these crystals, and it's drawn to it. And if it feels good in your hand, if you feel like your vibes are raising, you're feeling calm, or you're feeling uplifted if you needed that when you're hanging on to it, you're grabbing the right stone.
I
Exactly.
I thank
Exactly.
you for that because I'm out here in Arizona, right? So to one part of me, I have Sedona, which, is all mystical, I should say, and great. And then I also have Tucson on the other end of me. So I feel like I'm surrounded by crystals and energy, and it's all
Mhm.
good. But sometimes you just never know like what is something that is of quality versus not. So I really do appreciate that.
Right.
You're
Absolutely.
in a place where there are mounds and mounds of
Yes.
crystals. Oh my gosh, you are so
Yes.
lucky. I I have, one of the earth fountain crystals that I use, when I purchase my crystals, besides Julie, of course, um, and they are living down there now, so they go to all the
Mhm.
crystal shows, but you have to be careful, not so much with the crystal shows, but when like you mentioned the gas station,
Gas
when you're
station.
when you're in a gas station and you see something laying on the counter for sale, just be careful because a lot of people will rip you off. They won't be real
Mhm.
crystals. You'll see a lot of crystals that are like, um, especially agates. They're painted,
Mhm. Mhm.
which takes away from their vibrational feelings that you get with them.
That's
Like the
interesting.
orchids that Barbara and I collect. There's no such thing as a blue orchid. Well,
Mhm.
there's no such thing as some of these crystals that they come out with too. So you got to be very careful when you buy and make sure it's a reputable company. Make sure you know where they're mining them from because so many of the crystals nowadays, the mines are drying up. Malachite
Mhm.
for one, tanzanite for another. You just have to be careful where you're getting your crystals from because there are a lot of people out there that are just trying to make a buck for whatever reason,
Right.
and they're not selling real crystals. But you will be
Mm.
able to tell because when you put that crystal in your hand, it won't do anything. It won't vibrate. It won't even be cold, and that's how
Mm.
you know that it's not real.
Yeah, I
So
wrote
I was
that
gonna
down that it's cold. That was my tip
Right,
I took
right,
away.
exactly, exactly.
I'm gonna pick up my rock. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel it. Um, some people feel really unsecure and skeptical. It's like this and what we talked about recently with Tina Miller from Action for Kindness when she started talking about the energy and clothing and how energy and vibrations come from clothing. And now you two ladies come on and start talking about rocks and their vibrations, energies, and so forth. And what would you say to someone who just comes into you? They got ripped off, as you mentioned, by buying something in the gas station, that agate or whatever they purchased. What would you say to them? They're curious, but they're hesitant. So they kind of like really want to know, but now they've had an experience. What would you say to them? How could you like introduce something that might make them take that leap into maybe finding that first crystal, Julie?
Something to take that leap into buying that first crystal, huh? I think I'm just going to kind of go back to what I was saying to Quincy a little bit earlier when I was talking about people that come into the shop. I've had all kinds of skeptical people come into the shop. They come into the shop and they start as they're looking, oh, this doesn't work. This must be woo woo. But they're in here for a reason. They are looking
Yeah.
for something.
Mhm.
Something is happening in their life that has drawn them in here, looking for some sort of peace or healing or whatever it is that they're looking for on this journey they're on. So I'm always telling people just walk around here and just start picking them up. Start feeling them. Are you feeling what are you feeling when you're picking them up? Well, maybe not anything per se, but I do feel a little bit lighter while I'm in here. But there's a
Mm.
reason why you're feeling lighter while you're in here. It's the vibrations that are happening in here. So that's really what how I would encourage people if they were feeling skeptical is it's Earth's medicine.
Mm.
Earth has all kinds of medicine. Aloe vera plants, like think of all the stuff that the
Right.
Earth provides. These crystals are growing in the Earth. They're cooling and heating with lava, and they're metamorphosing into other kinds of crystals and rocks using layers of the Earth. This is all all things that I think people tend to forget when they're looking for other modalities.
Hmm.
So, Sandy, were you talking just a minute ago about the cost of crystals? And one thing people say, why is it so expensive?
Well, because there's people out there that are mining these things, and that you have to pay for their time and their energy. And I think the more unique the crystal is, the higher the price is. And
Mhm.
believe me, I wish I could show you my whole room because I've got some really unique pieces in here. Some of these pieces were really expensive, but the way they made me feel when I touched them, you can't replace that.
Mm.
It's just the feeling of calmness, like a feeling like this crystal's really meant for me because it's making me feel really, really good. And that's the experience anybody has that comes into my crystal room, because it makes them feel calm. It makes them feel relaxed because there's so much energy in here, and each one of these crystals around here is giving off their own energy. And they have been around for years doing this. We just didn't have them. So now that we have them, we can use them to our advantage. But you have to, like I said, just be careful, and you'll find the one that is right for you. All you have to do is look for it, and keep picking them up and feeling them, and then you can actually know what it is that you want by the way that makes you feel.
Quincy, you
Wow.
said early on about a friend and a relationship that has spanned over a long period of time. Did it involve crystals? Is that how
Yes.
that?
It did, and it's so wild to think about it now because she and I have been friends, probably close to or over 20 years. But that
Mm.
friendship first was born out of us being curious about other ways to add to our life. So we ended up At this time, I lived in San Diego and we went to a metaphysical convention and just sort of walked up and down the aisles. And for her, it's evolved into this huge business. And she's very well known in the art of being a Reiki master and hosting a very popular podcast. And for me, it helped with me being in a more of a corporate environment of helping me stay grounded and stay focused and staying connected to something that was a little bit bigger than myself. And once I moved out here to Arizona, it was reinforced even more because, like I can go down to Sedona and I can be there in, about 75 minutes. And, you have the vortex and all those types of things out there. So for me, sometimes honestly, sometimes it can be overwhelming because there is so much healing that can happen out here in the state of Arizona. You got to really sort of balance it out sometimes. But I think when we leave ourselves to be open to different modalities, right, and in a way that can feel good and maybe provide us some healing, we should be open to it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Sedonia is a great place too. It's all red rock, and
Hmm.
the energy there has been around, oh my gosh, forever. And just sitting, you can just go there, find a place to sit, and just sit there and be
Yeah.
still, and you can just feel all of it just coming into you. It's just a very unique place, along with Arizona. I'm going to
Hmm.
make it down there to like crystal show one of these years.
There you go. There you go. And listen, I just learned recently about their crystal cruises. I had no idea. There is just a community of people who can appreciate
Yeah,
crystals, right?
yeah,
And what
definitely.
I had, yeah, I guess you can go on a cruise for anything, right? Like you just get
Yep,
in
yep,
like-minded people together and there you are.
yep,
Yep.
exactly.
You talked about sitting somewhere and just taking in the energy of the rock formations and so forth. It's interesting. I just happened to be thinking, Julie, I've gone into your shop before. I don't know if it's the wood floors or the wood floor joists in there, but there's certain places in your shop, like you might be talking to a client or on the phone, and I'm just kind of walking around while you're doing some things. But I have felt different things, and I never thought it was the energy coming from our rocks.
Oh,
Isn't it weird? And I know you 2 so well, and we've had these discussions, but I can actually reflect back on there was a vibration, there was something going on there.
absolutely. Absolutely. They work with you. They work with you.
Love it,
Yeah.
love it. So, crystals, definitely, it sounds like both you, Sandy, and Julie have made a profession. It's been part of your life for a long time. You were introduced it, maybe even at a difficult time in your life, and they've helped you through. Sandy, you're the author of your books, which talk about and you introduce certain crystals, and we've spoken about that here today. And Julie then has had some of her books in her shop, as well as some of the other shop owners in the
Definitely.
area. If people want to find you so they can find out more about crystals, what would you recommend to them as to how you would like them to get in touch with you?
I do have a website. It's ssandybottom.com. And then my email is also that ssandybottom@gmail.com. My website does have my books on it. So you can reach them, get them from there. And actually, I have them here in front of me so you can see them. So when you get on my website, you'll recognize them. This was my first one. I wrote this one in 7 days. And this is the one that I told you was real easy to read about crystals and understanding them. And then this one is the chakras. But yeah, you can reach me there. You can use my telephone number. I'm always free to talk to anybody. And believe me, there's no little bit of knowledge that I would expend. I would give you everything I know if you're willing to listen.
I
Because
love it.
it's fun to me. It's fun. And just being around them just excites me, especially when I see a new one. I'm like, "Oh, I don't know what that one is. What is that one?" And I have to figure it out. And sometimes I go up to Julie's store and say, "Hey, do you have this?" And she'll say, "Yeah." But it's just so exciting and it never ends. There's always new ones that they're finding. And the new vibrations that they hold, it's just incredible. And yeah, don't hesitate to call me or get in touch with me. I'll be more than happy to talk to you about it.
Exciting.
And it's cool, Julie, that you two have each other to corroborate, and you have your storefront and also your website. How should people get in touch with you? What's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, definitely the best way to reach me is my website as well, or my email. So my website is www.loveyourselffirstshop. I know it's a mouthful.com. And the email address is loveyourselffirstshop@gmail.com. And like Sandy, I could talk about this kind of stuff to people all day long. Ask Sandy, ask anybody. My Reiki appointments, especially if I'm using my crystals and things in them, are going an hour and a half, 2 hours. It doesn't even matter to me. I love talking about this stuff. I love helping people while they're on their journeys, helping them figure things out, and really to help them find their own voices and their own needs.
I love that.
It's interesting how each one of us have had an experience of where we got that introduction to crystals,
Hmm.
and then they lead us all together. It's like a network. These rocks, their ability to speak to us, to resonate
Hmm.
with us, to vibrate out there, just be natural beauty out where we live and play, and even on our desktops in our office. So this has been great, very informative, because the next segment we're going to go to together is about Reiki and chakra. And I know there's a lot of misconception about what those are, but you ladies are going to be able to talk to us and let us know all about them. I thank you so much. Quincy, is there anything that you wanted to add or perhaps even ask about these little rocks or stones called crystals?
Listen, I just feel as though there are some crystals in my home that maybe I have not been treating as kindly as I should have. So I am motivated to go find them because I feel like they may be sitting in a drawer. Go find them and make sure I'm holding them, because I know there was one that I actually got years ago, and I was supposed to keep it in my pocket wherever I go, take it with me. So I need to get back into that routine. But no, I have learned so much from both Sandy and Julie, and I cannot wait until we get to our next segment.
If they've been hiding in the drawer, you might want to charge them first.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Oh, well, there we go.
and
Oh, that's
you can do that with the moonlight. You can do that with
Okay.
moon water. You can do that with selenite, with clear quartz, with amethyst. Any of those will charge your crystals for you.
Okay. Then listen, we are still on the learning journey of how I need to be taking care of my crystals. I'm excited for it.
that sounds like a new book.
I know, right? Charge your
Well,
crystals.
thank you, ladies,
Quinn.
so much for joining us. We'll be back for another segment to our viewers. Remember to go to YouTube, Optimize Her too, and like, share, comment too. We want to hear about your crystals, and please reach out to these ladies. Thank you again for joining Quincy and Nichols and myself, Barbara Ringrose, at Optimize Her too. Thank you again, Sandy and Julie, for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank
Stay
you
well.
for having us.
Stay well.